Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome back to another chat with Matt. And this is it. This is the final one of the year. What a year 2020 has been for a number of different reasons. When we started these podcasts at the beginning of the year, our intention was really clear. Bring industry experts together, share insights, share some best practices. And our hope is that you will take one or two things away that actually make a positive difference to your life. So what I wanted to do is bring back Chris, because we started the year, our very first chat with Matt, it seems like a long time ago now, was with Chris Norton, who's one of the co-owners of Mentor Group. And we thought we'd bring Chris back, do a bit of reflection of 2020, and then look forward to what we should expect from 2021. So as I always start off with, Chris, how are you?
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Matt. And all good. I can't say we're going to be doing a lot over Christmas as we're already in lockdown number 4. So, but all healthy and happy. So great blessings from that point of view.
Yeah, it's been a year that none of us could have predicted in most ways. What from your perspective have you found to be, let's start with challenging. Let's get that piece out of the way first. What have you found challenging from this year?
I think the uncertainty in a way of, you move from one scenario around the COVID and the pandemic, and you think you're at the end of it, and then we carry on into the next cycle. So I think for a lot of people that uncertainty, or the certainty that it was going to come to an end at some point, and yet we're now going into 2021, and the latest thinking is we've got at least another 3 months of it. So I think that challenge of keeping everybody positive in times of where there is no certainty has been challenging. And I think it's reflected on one of the questions you asked me was around the trend. There really is now a massive push to help employees at all levels, leadership right down to frontline workers around mental health. I don't actually use the word mental health because it assumes something's wrong with people, but I would call it more mental fitness. We spend a huge amount of time, working on people's knowledge and, if you like, their cognitive fitness. Lots of us do physical fitness and whatever, but we spend no time on mental fitness. And in this day and age and what we've been going through, that's become an increasingly big focus. And as you know, we've got some partnerships going with companies like London Cognition, who apply mental fitness to sales, and with Positive Intelligence, Shazad Shamin's company, where we're partnered with, just to give, that operating system of mental fitness. And it's been massive for us, and so pleasing to see the difference it can make. Because it's okay not to be okay. The big thing is to be aware of that, and also to work and give people something that's practical.
I think that's key. I mean, as we're recording this on the 21st of December, 2020, we, a lot of families across the UK, and particularly where you are in the southeast, their Christmas plans would have changed, and naturally that's going to bring a level of challenge into everyday life. How do you cope? So let's keep it practical. Let's keep it, if you don't mind sharing. If you think about your own mental fitness, what do you do to help with your own? Then I'll share a little bit about what I do as well.
Cool. Yeah, so I use the Positive Intelligence framework, which is the best way to describe it is like an operating system. We have an operating system for a phone, and we don't think how the operating system works. So we have an operating system for the way we are as humans. Keeps our blood pumping around our body, keeps our heart going. Yet we're not thinking about the other part of that operating system, which is about our mental well-being, which is still running. So I use a routine around Positive Intelligence, which is around practical exercises, really, that about rooting you in the now, in the present. Because you can't, like I said about certainty, there's not, you can't live in the future, you can't live in the past, but you can live in the now. So it gives you, for me, what I try to do is keep focused on what I can make a difference in each day. with the people, with the clients. And if you get into a routine of that, exactly the same as you would with a fitness routine, you become mentally fitter. But it is about building that muscle, building that cadence of being in the now, being focused, using innovation, using laser focus and on actions. And just like going to the gym, you don't get fit by buying the membership card. That gets you access. You do have to do stuff. So I think it's that getting into a routine, whether it's people are using mindfulness, people are using other techniques, whatever that technique is that gives you that focus on the now, reducing the noise in the head and giving you clarity. That I think is really important to people, and we need to help people more and more with that in across companies, across families, across people we know. So that's what I've been doing. And if my physical fitness would keep up with my mental fitness, I'll be in a good place.
My excuse probably more the other way. The physical fitness is good, but it's no surprise that we start these chats off with, "How are you?" The importance of just two-way dialogue and checking in on people, particularly if they're isolated, I think is vital. So we always throw the challenge out. What one person would you pick the phone up to that maybe you haven't spoken to for a while? It's really important, Chris, isn't it?
Yeah, that sort of what I would call empathy build is a superpower, and you have to do it authentically, and you have to do it, in the right way, and the sort of empathy build then, enables people to connect. Connected people perform better, their well-being is better, and their relationships are better. If all of those are going, then people are going to perform better in the role they are during these difficult times. So I think that's something that we, has been amplified during this period and will continue to be. Maybe it's a good thing that come out of this, the people's awareness and ability and willingness to invest in that area of human well-being.
Well, that sense of community we know has been is massively important. So take that thread then. If you can project forward onto 2021, what are your sort of hopes, aspirations, and expectations for next year?
Yeah, so I'd like that. I keep going. It's a passion of mine across the piece, and we as you know, we look to do it within our company. So I think that's a continuing trend. The whole push to digital, everybody's pretty au fait with the words, but again, it's the practicalities of making digital work for us as a company and with our clients. That's going to be still a massive push. As you know, we're 100% remote working now. 100% of our new client work is remote. So I think that's been an amazing transition, both for us and our clients, to be able to get to that point. And I don't expect any time soon that we'll go back to any level of face-to-face work. So that will continue. Probably in our subject matter expert arena, I think the whole push towards that sales and marketing coming together, I think again remote workings in some ways force that. And you talk about revenue operations rather than discrete sales and marketing organizations. I think that's going to accelerate at a pace, because it's been driven not just by the fact that we're remote and the need for that synergy, but clients are driving that buyer's cycle to a level of sophistication that demands that if you're dealing with your clients, you've got to be joined up, you've got to be working on the outcomes and not in any looking at any silos. So I think that push for us revenue operations is going to continue, as will the digital, more and more digital products.
And getting more intimate with your customers in terms of the knowledge that you've got of them, looking at ways that you can absolutely help them survive and thrive in whatever 2021 will throw at all of us. If I'm with you a year from today, let's say we're speaking in December 2021, what sort of things do you want to be saying as you reflected back on 2021?
Yeah, I think that I think it's that sort of come back better mentality that we've been through this, and actually we look back on it and say, actually, we came through this. Would we want to do it again? No. Would we want all the trauma and tragedy it's brought? Definitely not. But if we come out of it with different ways of working, different solutions, particularly that focus on people's mental well-being, not just in industry, but if you look across the whole of our society, that connection with people that's happening, all through, whether it's through social inclusion, whether it's through, the stamping out of racial, injustices. If this time has really taught us one thing about coming together, then maybe in some small way it's been worth it. So that's what I'd like to be talking about. Definitely that we want to have this behind us. I think the economy next year will go on a massive uplift whenever we get the vaccinations and people's confidence comes back. There's a pent up demand for wanting to drive forward out of this. So that's what I'm hoping to be reflecting on, that massive forward move that we've seen post the COVID-19.
Yeah, and as always, when I'm speaking to you, Chris, the message is one of hope. It's the one of possibility. Yes, we can learn things from this as we move into 2021. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, I think someone said to me the other day, that we're going to look back on it, and it'll be history, same way as 2008 recession, 2011. People look back, and in some ways it is part of history. This will be part of history, but I do think this will have changed lives, forever in certain aspects. So I don't think there's going to be a going back to as it was, and I think that could be a good thing if we take it in a positive, from a positive perspective.
Well, Chris, it's been a pleasure starting the chat this year with you and finishing the chat with you. Have you got one sort of final message you want to give out to our listeners and our viewers?
Well, two, actually. I want to be talking about Watford back in the Premiership this time. But on a serious note, I think it's that, there is no such thing as certainty. And what we've got to do is deal with what's in front of us in the moment. And, and then we can thrive rather than survive.
Okay, it's a great way to end. And for everybody who's watching and listening, we appreciate you taking the time out to your precious time to listen to these. We'll continue next year. We'll bring new people to the chat. We'll bring new topics to the chat. We're always willing and welcome any feedback that you have. Chris, thank you for taking the time out.
Matt, thank you, and thanks for doing these. They've been viral, actually, haven't they? So well done for you.
Yeah, more to say.
Well done for you. Thanks,
My pleasure. From everybody at Mentor Group, we hope you have a Merry Christmas, a happy, and more importantly, a healthy 2021. Please stay safe. Thanks again for taking the time out, and we'll see you next year on more Chats with Matt.